Fans noticed something the moment the new trailer for Love and Marriage Huntsville dropped. The drama was there, the tension was there, the arguments were there. But one person who has been at the center of this show from the very beginning was missing. Martell Holt was nowhere to be seen. Not in a quick flash, not in a background clip, not even in a voiceover moment. And when a person who helped build the identity of a series suddenly disappears from promotional material, viewers start asking serious questions. For years, Martell was not just part of the cast. He was one of the main engines of the show. His marriage to Melody Sherry, their business partnership, their public breakdown, and their divorce shaped multiple seasons. The cheating scandal was not a side story. It became the core storyline that carried the show forward. Whether people supported him or criticized him, they watched. He sparked debate, he created reactions, he kept conversations going online every week. So when fans see a trailer that highlights conflict between Destiny Payton and Letitia Scott, tension involving Maurice Scott and other cast drama, but no sign of Martell, it feels intentional. There has been no official statement saying he has been fired, there has been no network post confirming he left, but reality television does not always announce changes. Contracts end quietly, cast members get reduced roles without public explanation. Sometimes the network lets the episodes speak for themselves. That is why the silence is making people talk even more. Martell has always presented himself as central to the success of the show. In past interviews and online comments, he suggested that others benefited from his presence. He once implied that the spotlight was largely because of him. If that is truly how he sees his role, it would be surprising if he chose to walk away on his own. That is why many viewers believe that if his screen time is reduced or removed, it may not be voluntary. Another layer to the situation is public image. Over the years, Martell has faced heavy criticism, especially after the revenge-related controversy that damaged his reputation. Many fans felt that certain actions crossed a line beyond normal reality TV conflict. Some viewers argued that he should have been removed from the show at that point. Others believed that reality TV is meant to show flawed people and messy situations. This divide in opinion still exists, but networks pay attention to backlash. When controversy becomes bigger than the storyline, producers start thinking about long-term brand protection. The trailer also suggests a shift in focus. Instead of building the season around Martell's personal drama, it appears to center more on group conflict. Maurice and Letitia seem to have strong storylines. Destiny appears more vocal. The energy feels more ensemble-driven. That could mean producers are testing whether the show can stand without leaning on the same narrative that carried it before. When a series runs for multiple seasons, it eventually faces a turning point. The original dynamic that once felt explosive can begin to feel repetitive. Viewers get tired of hearing the same argument with slight changes. The cheating scandal, the co-parenting tension, the public shade, the interviews. At some point, audiences either want growth or something new. If producers believe Martell's storyline has reached a ceiling, reducing his presence could be a strategy to refresh the series. At the same time, absence in a trailer does not always mean absence in episodes. Marketing is strategic. Sometimes producers hide a major figure to create surprise. If Martell appears mid-season after being absent from early promotions, that could shock viewers and boost ratings. Reality TV often plays with expectation. What people think is happening is not always what is actually happening behind the scenes. There is also the possibility of contract negotiations affecting promotional use. If there were disputes about salary or episode count, the network might limit his visibility in marketing material until agreements are finalized. That does not mean he's gone. It could simply mean his role has been adjusted. To understand the impact, it helps to look at other franchises. Cast changes are common in reality TV. When major personalities exit, the show either evolves or struggles. For example, on The Real Housewives of Potomac, power shifts between cast members have changed the tone of the show over time. When new personalities enter and connect with viewers quickly, older cast members sometimes feel the pressure. The balance of influence changes. The storylines move in different directions. On that show, Wendy Osefo experienced a clear evolution. In her early seasons, she leaned heavily into her academic achievements. She spoke about her degrees often. Over time, viewers saw her shift. She became more open, more emotional, more layered. That growth kept her relevant. Reality TV rewards change. When a cast member shows development, audiences feel invested. If we apply that idea to Martell, the question becomes whether viewers have seen growth or repetition. Some argue that his on-screen behavior has stayed in the same cycle: defensive responses, blame shifting, repeating past conflicts. Others argue that editing may have limited how much of his personal growth was shown. But perception matters more than intent in television. If the audience feels stuck in the same pattern, producers notice. Another important factor is public fatigue. When a storyline runs for years, it can lose emotional impact. What once felt shocking becomes expected. Producers then face two choices: escalate the drama even more, or pivot to something fresh. Removing or reducing a polarizing figure can act as a reset button. Social media reactions to the trailer show how divided viewers are. Some people celebrate the possibility of Martell stepping back. They say the show needs new energy. They say accountability matters. They say platforms should not reward harmful behavior. Others say removing him would erase part of the show's history. They believe messy people create compelling television. This debate itself generates attention, which benefits the network. From a financial perspective, reduced screen time also means reduced income. Reality cast members are typically paid per episode. If Martell appears in fewer episodes, that affects his earnings. That financial reality can influence decisions. Cast members sometimes fight hard to maintain visibility because screen time equals opportunity. It keeps their name active. It supports business ventures. It builds social media influence. Even if his role on the show decreases, Martell still has platforms outside of television: social media, interviews, brand deals. Reality stars today are not limited to one series. They operate across multiple spaces. However, being part of the show that launched your fame carries symbolic weight. If he is truly absent this season, it marks a shift in narrative control. There is also discussion about possible alliances. In reality television, proximity equals relevance. If Martell remains connected to cast members who are filming, he can still appear indirectly. Viewers have mentioned names like Stormy in speculation about alliances. If relationships shift, it could create new pathways for screen time. Nothing is confirmed, but speculation shows how deeply fans analyze every detail. The bigger question is whether the show can sustain momentum without relying on the original Holt marriage saga. For years, that relationship defined episode structure. Arguments between Martell and Melody shaped group events. Their tension spilled into other friendships. Without that central conflict, the show must build a new core. Maurice and Letitia's marriage has its own tension. Destiny has personal and business challenges that could expand. Other cast members can step forward, but they must carry scenes in a way that feels authentic. Forced drama rarely works long-term. Viewers can sense when conflict is created only for cameras. Another layer is brand protection. Networks have become more sensitive to public criticism over the last few years. When audiences demand accountability, advertisers listen. If enough viewers express discomfort with a cast member, the network must weigh the risk of keeping them versus the benefit of controversy. Sometimes controversy boosts ratings. Other times it damages reputation. Martell sits in that gray area. He is polarizing, he sparks conversation, but he also carries criticism. Producers must decide whether his presence adds more value than risk. That calculation likely influenced the current marketing strategy. The timing of the trailer is important. The season returns in March. Promotional material usually highlights the most explosive arcs to build excitement. If Martell had a major storyline, many believe at least one clip would appear. His complete absence suggests one of three things: minimal presence, strategic surprise, or separation. If he appears only briefly in early episodes, that could signal a demotion. If he appears mid-season, that suggests planned shock value. If he does not appear at all, that points toward contract termination. Until episodes air, viewers can only analyze clues. Audience reaction after the premiere will be telling. If ratings hold steady or increase without him, producers may feel confident in a new direction. If ratings drop, adjustments could follow in future seasons. Reality TV is data-driven. Networks track numbers closely. Online engagement, live ratings, replay streams, all of it influences casting decisions. there is also the emotional connection viewers built over time. Love and Marriage Huntsville grew around real marriages, real friendships, real fractures. When foundational figures step away, longtime fans feel the change deeply. Some embrace it, others resist it. That emotional response is part of what makes reality television powerful. At the same time, growth is necessary for survival. Shows that refuse to evolve often fade. The question now is whether this potential shift represents growth or instability. Removing a controversial figure can create space for new stories, but it can also remove tension that once fueled interest. Martell's own response will matter. If he addresses the speculation directly, that could shape the narrative. Silence can protect contracts, but it can also allow rumors to grow. How he manages his public image during this period will influence perception. Melody's position is also significant. Although her role has shifted compared to earlier seasons, her connection to the original storyline remains strong. If the show moves beyond the Hall conflict entirely, it signals a true new era. If references continue without his presence, that creates an interesting dynamic. Reality television is built on perception of relevance. Being featured in trailers reinforces importance. Being excluded creates questions. In television marketing, nothing is accidental. Every second of footage is chosen carefully, so the absence feels deliberate, even if the reason is not yet clear. Another point to consider is viewer trust. Audiences invest years into following these lives. They expect some level of transparency. When major changes happen without explanation, speculation fills the gap. Producers know this. Sometimes they allow speculation to build hype. Other times they remain silent to avoid confirming sensitive details. If this season truly focuses on ensemble conflict, it may feel different in tone. Without the heavy weight of the Hall divorce storyline, conversations may shift toward business competition, friendship fractures, and personal growth. That could bring lighter moments, or it could expose weaknesses if no storyline feels strong enough. In the end, the trailer accomplished its goal. People are talking. Comment sections are active. Social media debates are loud. Curiosity is high. Whether Martell is fired, reduced, or strategically hidden, the attention benefits the premiere. As March approaches, viewers will tune in looking for answers. The first episode will reveal more than any trailer could. Even a brief appearance would shift the conversation again. Total absence would confirm a major transition. Until official confirmation arrives, everything remains analysis. But in reality television, analysis is part of the experience. Fans dissect every frame, every edit, every pause. That engagement keeps franchises alive. If Martell remains, expect a recalibrated presence, less dominance, more balanced ensemble scenes. If he is gone, expect intensified focus on new tensions. Either path marks a defining moment for Love and Marriage Huntsville. The show stands at a crossroads. Continue leaning on past conflicts or build a new identity. The trailer suggests change is coming. Whether that change includes Martell or not will determine the long-term direction of the series. For now, speculation is louder than confirmation. Silence from the network only fuels curiosity. And sometimes in reality TV, what is not shown speaks louder than what is.